Well, it's time for a display video. Now, I mentioned in the last one with hammerstones that I might have to make another. And I have two groups, so stand by. Uh, but of course, you can see something that's very common. The serration. Unbelievable to me. And so going back over these is a pleasure for me. And for some of you who, like to go to the museum or can't get out or what have you, I'll do this for you. I don't see them that often. You must not see them much less than I do. So I'm going to sort of highlight these as we can see them. Don't worry, I'm going to get back to them. But it's one bin from my display box for all of them. My serrated stuff. And I've heard a lot of comments in the past about how many people love the serrations and don't find a whole lot of them. So I'm going to start. And there's so many good views here. It's better than a display cabinet at a museum, I feel like. Don't have little clips that have to hold the points down and what have you. We can get up close and personal, and if need be, we can even grab them up. But I am moved, as I mentioned in the last video, and we'll go small to big. So we'll go this side here on Indian Trace. And this is 5 years, everybody. I've only collected 5 years. And in 5 years, I just did my tabulation with my digital layering. And I think I'm up to about 13,000, over 13,000 artifacts in 5 years. So, and this is ground on the back side of this piece. It's a nice piece from Mecca. But so stirred about some of the things that are happening politically. And so saddened. But violence in the land is inevitable. It was inevitable with the story of the North Americans. It's been inevitable in every nation. We wish it weren't so. But the Bible's plain. It says, "Be not overcome with evil, but overcome and conquer evil with good." And I like to say it this way, and everybody knows it's true. When your children are young, or if they happen to be ornery or something's wrong, nothing cures the situation better than a good old-fashioned spanking. And you really don't have to do it much more often, but when they get the point across, they start to grow strong and straight like an oak tree. And some people in today's culture and society think that's such a bad thing. But what's such a bad thing is a wild individual with no sense of law. Is a sick individual with no sense of law or morality. Where does that come from? It comes from the way a child is reared to respect and honor things, human life and what have you. These are awesome, awesome artifacts, aren't they? Anyway, I'm going to stop preaching. I'm going to put the links up, and all I can say is, with me, if you've loved Indian Trace, loved these artifacts, just listen. You make up your own mind about the reports, but they're the best I could find. I've listened to 25 for every one I put up, for the two that I put up today, which to me are incredible reports about what's going on. Of course, they're completely different from the mainstream media, who are spinning everything so obscenely, parroting one another about gun control when they never look at the stats or statistics about gun control, when I think many of them know that that means people control. Let's move on. Enough said. Look at those points. Great point from the archaic here. Been seen before, they all have, but worth it. We always go through our collections. This is a great point right here from the bear too. Another couple great points. One of the very first points ever that I found in the easement right here near my son's soccer fields. Little point found right here from the bear one. And keep an eye on the serrations. The point that I found this year at the Hawk. It is a greenish. Don't know if that's coming in with the light. If I covered it up, what would happen? Does it bring in the better green? Little bit, right? So all I can do is say, hey, listen, I have listened, studied, the propaganda. I don't know why anybody would trust anything on the mainstream news as it is now. For the 6 months prior to the election, every single thing they said, if you used to trust in them, was a complete lie. That's just, I mean, why would you ever decide you're going to go back and trust them? I mean, it's obscene. It's really obscene. Consider alternative news feeds and listen to what they say. Judge for yourself whether or not they are succinct, whether or not they're reasonable, and make up your own mind. It's very important to our nation. Now let's finish with some great serrated artifacts. This is a piece that I found very early at B&B Field. I really love it. I've never found a point that's really like this one, or like any of them. I mean, look at these two. Great mercy, right? You really got to take them one at a time if you love serrated points. And rhyolite here from Hidden Hill. From B&B Field. Look at the relief on the back side of this piece. Look at this crazy one at the top from B&B Field as well. From the Archaic. Great piece of flint. They stamped the back off with Cortex. It's a snap base. I don't know if my focus is going to work if I hold this real still. It doesn't seem to be helping me right now. There we go. I don't know if you can see it. The back is Cortex. Great serrated pieces. Really getting these up so I can get some links out to people if they really want to know the truth. You're going to get confused. You're going to get terribly, terribly confused, which is what they want if you listen to the mainstream media. Don't you realize after 12 different stations, when they're all saying the exact same words, not even from a different vantage point, that somebody must be telling them what to say when it comes to reporting the news, and then listen to all the eyewitnesses, maybe from Las Vegas, and you'll realize there's a different important element to all the reports. Because they're pure, because they're sincere, because they're real. Well, that's what alternative news is. Important different elements, and they're really not contradicting one another. But what you're getting is the truth. And that's what's vital. That's why I made an effort today just to throw up some artifacts and to share. Look at this is really early, about 4 or 5 years ago I found this at Beaver Point. Nice relief on the back side of that. And this, one of my favorite points right here from the bear. Mercy, right? So from Indian Trace to all of you, this will accomplish what I really wanted it to do. Yeah, I know the one at the bottom is just crazy. Crazy. Because this one at the bottom, for this one at the bottom, here's the story, is twice as big as these two right here. Don't find this kind often at all. This is all I got. This is it. And I've often said, let me just find something, one of these, twice as big, I say, And then this year, well, it was 2016, I think. Maybe it's 2017. I found this, and it is twice as big. It's crazy. I mean, look at that piece. Craziness. So, from Indian Trace to all of you out there, appreciate you tuning in and enduring a little chat. If it gets you angry, I guess that's good. Maybe it'll help you think about some things. And I haven't said anything that's not true. I haven't said anything that can't be proven out. It's a great arrangement, isn't it? But I hope you find out there. Most of all, I hope you find the truth for our country and for your family. Be well out there. And look small. You'll miss small.